Ça fait qu'on a la facilité vraiment. Vraiment, population monde.
They want our gold, our couple, our cobalt, our clothing, our zinc, our aluminum, our titanium, our fresh water, our timber, our iron, our diamonds, our fish, our uranium, our tin, our costly. They want us for free. So they've been taking it and killing people, innocent people for it. Lying children, why me? But what did you do? What did I do? What did I do? What do I do? What did I do? What did I do? Since 1994, they are over 6 million. The people dead in the Democratic Republic of Congo because of them. It's time to find out who they are.
78% of black husbands were in their homes, married to the mother of their children, when they started the social engineering of the welfare state. Fast forward 50 years, 78% of black children are being raised in single-headed households. This is destruction personified.
We're superior because we have been oppressed the most and still made the most significant contributions, so our resilience is superior. That's what makes us superior. If you can make the most significant contributions in the face of oppression, that shows some superiority.
Who destroyed the black family?
Systemic racism.
Who?
Who? White supremacists.
White supremacy destroyed the black family?
Right, systemic
racism. They made black men leave their homes?
They locked black men up, yes.
Did they make black men leave their home and for the welfare check?
Yes.
They made them do it.
They didn't make them do it. It rewarded black women who kicked black men out the house.
But, right. And so is the black woman superior to?
The black woman what?
Superior to all the other women, other races of women?
Yes.
They're superior to everybody else?
Yes, by my definition.
And so if black women are superior, why did they choose to accept the welfare check over the husband?
Yo, let's get straight into it. What's going on with these kids, man? What's going on over there? Let's talk about it. And what's going on over here? Studies show if you destroy him or her as a child, it will be hard for that child to mature into a fully developed adult. Only men can make boys men, and vice versa for the girls. Only a woman can raise a little girl to be a woman. That's why both parents in the home is the balance and harmony needed. And I'm not saying that kids with both parents in the home turn out to be saints, because the teaching of the parents must be sustainable and positively effective too. 67% of black kids grew up inside a single-parent home. And these numbers are higher now. And that's based on minority stats. And that is cap. But we are not the minority. We know that we were here first all over this planet. So it's still impossible for us to be the minority. But the question is, how can someone control this many people? Sidebar, 80% of the people in the world has color in their skin, 20% don't. But you see, whoever controls the mind controls the body. The best way to destroy a black man is to deny him opportunity to work. Because black men are taught to be tough, don't cry, and bring home the money. So if being a man means being a provider, with the percentage of men that's able to get a job nowadays, that is suicide attempt. We can't let the employer define a man's masculinity. It's about being responsible and having that balance between the mind and the heart. You have to have money living in America, get money, but that's not the criteria for manhood. We have to start teaching these kids early. It's a lack of role models for boys and girls in the community. So make sure you know who your kids' friends are. And a lot of times, people don't listen to their kids or pay enough attention. And that's detrimental to the mindsets. You see, it's a system put in place to destroy the black kids and their way of thinking. And we all know that you can't respect someone who don't respect themselves. That's why a lot of babies are spiritually smart. And babies, they can sense who the weakest parent is at a very young age. They already know who they're gonna be able to manipulate, whether dad the soft parent or the mom the soft parent. And if you're really paying attention out here, you can see that it's a war against the children. It's a worldwide war. This shit is going on everywhere.
Voilà, bon, ok. Le système est en ande. Fanda, koza la jitete.
We need to talk about the silent genocide happening in Congo. The exploitation of Congolese people has claimed millions of lives, and the media is not talking about it at all. In fact, around every hour, 48 women are sexually assaulted. 6 million Congolese people have lost their lives over the past decade, and millions more have been displaced. Also, the Western world can continue to benefit off of Congo's natural resources like cobalt. The land of Congo has the largest amount of cobalt, which is a critical mineral used in technology. Western nations like the US, the UK and France have given military and financial aid to groups in Rwanda and Uganda to invade cobalt-rich areas. And because of these invasions, Congolese people are either killed or enslaved and forced to mine cobalt, which includes pregnant women and children. Genocides and crimes against humanity that take place in Africa are never covered in the media as much as other events.
So we see it's a lot of major conflicts going on around the world with these kids. And with the kids in the US, they got us by a technology chokehold. That's why we gotta make sure the kids have a bright future, no matter the race, and we must protect them from the predators. It's a percentage of children that end up living vicariously through the trauma of their parents. But for thousands of years, it has always been an attack on the children. Hence the reason everything always go back to history. The past, the present, and the future is running concurrent. To understand what's going on today, we must go backwards to get the answers. Everything that happened back then plays a part into what's going on today. So right now, I'm gonna give a quick breakdown in layman's terms. I need to be able to reach the masses. We must protect all kids, it don't matter the race, but especially the copper-colored ones. And like always, I gotta preach the fact that we was here on this planet first. We was already here, and we created everything inside of it. And you see, the powers that be don't want the masses hip to this info. So that's why it's a war against our history and their history. So that's why we're talking about this war in Palestine. Question is, what does it has to do with the kids in the USA? A lot. Now let me tell you how it affects our whole community. If you look it up, it says in Gaza, nearly 10,000 children were killed. This information alone should be enough to shake the world. 10,000 kids. Now some would say, well, we can't really worry about what's going on over there until it starts happening over here with us. And this would be the time you said some dumbass shit. Because it been started over here. They just do it loud and quietly, meaning they put it right in our face, make movies about it, news articles, and we don't do shit. These are rituals they've been practicing for thousands of years with the involvement of kids. They told us that the Jewish people control everything over here in the USA. The news, the music, the movies, the laws, the schools, all of the above. And these are the same people that got beef over there in Palestine, right? So let's talk about it. Is this war really about the land? They told us it's the Jews and the Arabs supposed to be fighting over this land. Is that true? They also told us that the Muslim Brotherhood wants a Muslim world, and they see Spain as Muslim land. The Arabs accused the Jews for wanting to control the world, while at the same time scheming to do the same thing. The Jews said the Bible is their deed to the land. But is this the major conflict? They told us the land belonged to the Arabs since the Middle Ages, and they see no reason their land should go from them. But if you pay attention, these same people been fighting against each other since the beginning. And while this is going on, the kids are being abducted and killed.
Have you ever wondered what happens to the children that go missing in foster care? Well, if you assume, like I did, that those disappearances get reported, you would be wrong. At least that's according to this new report by the Department of Health and Human Services. They conducted a huge audit of 74,000 missing kids, and they found that 34,000 of those children were never reported missing. That's 34,000 kids that disappeared from foster care and nobody ever told anyone. The strangest part is that it wasn't just foster care agencies that were failing to report these kids. Law enforcement also failed to report the missing children. See, the way it works is like this. If a child goes missing from foster care, the agency has to report it to the police. But once they do, it's up to the police to report that to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which it turns out they don't always do. That means it isn't just the foster care system, it's law enforcement that partially shoulders the blame. One of the craziest things about all of this is that for decades, we've been calling anybody that brings attention to this problem crazy, or even worse, a conspiracy theorist. What you're about to see is a clip of police detective John Wedger explaining how he discovered that children were being sex trafficked out of the foster care system in England.
I said, no, I'm not pointing the finger, no one's in any trouble. How many of these children do you lose at the weekend? So out of the 5, we lose 3. And I said, no, honestly, what happens to them? They went, oh, they've been pimped out.
Of course, Detective John Wedger tried to bring this to the attention of the media, but he was immediately reprimanded.
I was brought before someone who is now a very, very high-ranked officer in the UK indeed, and he sat me down and he said, John, if you ever disclose what you found out, you will lose your home, your children, and your job. You must shut the F up.
Unfortunately, you can find these kinds of stories everywhere. So to the curious person, the question naturally arises, are foster care agencies and law enforcement failing to report these missing children?
And you see, with Israel and Palestine, they got us confused on who the good and who the bad guys are. And good or bad is based on perception. And the reason I don't fuck with Israel is because pedophiles from America, Jewish pedophiles from America, get to run to Israel and hide when they get caught on their bullshit.
A CBS News investigation has uncovered a loophole that allows accused and convicted American pedophiles to escape justice by moving to Israel.
Jewish Community Watch, an organization that hunts down accused pedophiles who flee to Israel from the U.S., exploiting a process called Law of Return, whereby any Jewish person can move to Israel and automatically gain citizenship. Yom Tov pled guilty in 2002 to sexually abusing and committing lewd acts against 3 other boys. He served jail time, but when he was released, he violated his probation and, according to JCW, fled to Israel with help from individuals within the Orthodox Jewish community.
The same thing that's going on in the Catholic Church right now around the world, the exact same thing happens in our community. The rabbis say it's, you know what, he promised he's going to go for therapy, he's never going to do it again. Boom, he's in another community. A few years later, he's at the same thing, and we hear more allegations that the person continued to abuse children.
And often, those abusers end up in Israel.
I saw this on another post and I had to go see the article for myself. If you support Israel, you support pedophilia. And I just happened to get an advertisement while I was looking at this article saying that millions of Americans face hunger. So think about that. The House just passed a $14 billion bill to supply aid to Israel, who want to legalize pedophilia and are actively genociding a people. If you are pro-Israel, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Free Palestine.
So pay attention to who they told y'all was running things. And we got thousands of people at the border with Texas. But Biden's sending money to the war over there in Gaza. What's really going on? But at the same time, people, we shouldn't be worried about too much of this bullshit. But we can't just turn a blind eye to it at the same time, because there's genocide is also going on right here in our country. And we could be next. Hence the reason they got the movie coming out, The Civil War. You see, the goal is to raise the emotions and have us up under a certain type of frequency. You feel me? Just like with food, when them animals be under a certain type of emotion, scared, frightened, and then we go to eating it. Or just like adrenochrome when they eat these kids. They need the kid to be up under a certain type of adrenaline rush. You feel me? Scared, frightened. That's why they put the kids under so much fear and anxiety and frighten them. You feel me? This is what they got to do. Put these kids under all type of emotions, doing some goofy ass shit. This makes the adrenochrome more potent for them. So just pay attention. All this blood spill done to kids. 40,000 in Congo, 10,000 plus in Gaza. What the fuck is going on?
ودينا الصغار الكبار نتقوا عادي طبيعي وطابوا. الاولاد الصغار هذول اكلوا من هنا للخبز وحالتهم ساءت.
What the fuck is going on here? They got kids starving with limited food. They give them bread and the bread is poisoning them. And this Palestinian lady right here lost her grandchild from the bread. So what's really going on? But you see, this is where your gift of discernment come from. You got to be able to peep this shit with your third eye. These people are harvesting blood for something big. Pay attention. Kids are going missing all over the world, even here in the USA, and we not pushing the issue because we are stuck under this money spell until it all fails, or until they come and hit y'all ad with that draconian Drake.